This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
It's a rivalry forever etched into the legend of the league. The two most dominant teams of the past 15 years. The Wildcats go toe-to-toe with the resurgent Breakers in the next chapter of this unrelenting rivalry. Coming off another huge win, the invigorated Breakers welcome their foes, the Fortress Spark, with another victory very much in their sights. A tight overtime battle got the better of the Wildcats on Thursday, despite a 30-piece from who else but Bryce Cotton. They'll need him at his best again today if the Cats are to conquer the #1 team in the NBL. Every Breakers fan circles this fixture as soon as the schedule comes out. Breakers v Wildcats at Spark Arena. They met in 3 grand finals in the past 11 years. Tom Abercrombie was there for all of them. Today he'll play against Corey Webster, who was there for most of them. But this time, Webster is wearing the white and red of the Perth Wildcats. Kia ora, a very good evening to you. Welcome to Spark Arena on Auckland's waterfront. Hugh Bain here alongside Casey Frank. Casey, it's the fixture in the Breakers schedule.
This year, last year, next year probably as well. The fans circle it, the players circle it. Is a game between titans in terms of franchises for the last decade, and a lot of titans on the court as well.
And these fans are ready for it. Many of them growing up here in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, or in Aotearoa, New Zealand, just see the Wildcats as villains. And one man who grew up playing and supporting basketball here in New Zealand, of course, Britt Rusco, who's with us tonight. And Britt, what does this rivalry mean to you growing up as a baller?
Oh, this is what it's all about. Every single night when you knew these two teams were playing, you knew what you were going to get. There's a lot of banners up here, and a big part of that is with the Perth Wildcats. 9 out of 10 championships between 2010 and 2020, went to both of these teams. So you know what's about. Every single time these two teams step on between the floor, it's going to be a great game, and I think the crowd here tonight is excited for another one of those.
Hey, Brooke, as a former point guard who had to guard some pretty incredible offensive talent, when you look at Barry Brown Jr., look at Bryce Cotton, what would you be thinking if you were tasked with those matchups?
Well, I'll tell you what, the night before would be a sleepless night knowing that you have to go against those guys. I used to think the same thing when I was marking Corey Webster, and then you think about Barry Brown Jr., what he's been doing, coming off the bench, 31 the other night, Bryce Cotton every single night. You know what you're going to get. So it's a tough matchup. Strength and number with the Breakers. We know how explosive they are on the defensive end, so the switching, the coverages that they're going to have with Bryce Cotton is going to be huge, and I would have thought the same thing with Barry Brown Jr. as well.
Thanks very much, Brooke. Look forward to hearing from you throughout the broadcast tonight as we see Rob Lowe, who will come off the bench again for the Breakers, Casey, but geez, he puts an impact out there when he does.
Well, he's been reinvigorated, and the three-point stroke's part of it. He's shooting 58% from 3 on the season, limited attempts, and he's had some injury issues, but when he's on the court, he's starting to find his rhythm. Not only is he shooting the ball, but he's shooting the good footwork down low, taking advantage of his passing ability. And of course, he's 6'11", so he's good on the glass as well. With him playing with a little bit of energy, it's really invigorated this bench unit and increased their effectiveness along with Barry Brown Jr.
And wearing the white of the Perth Wildcats, their very own shooting big, Brady Mannert out of Oklahoma and North Carolina. What do you make of his game so far this season?
Well, it's developing. You know, this is a tough league for young bigs to come into because it's a man's league. You got to be strong, you got to be physical, and that's not really his game. This is his game, shooting that basketball. And if he can find the range from deep, it opens up everything else for him and this Perth Wildcats offense. That's the key. Now, it'd be nice if he could get inside and get some more rebounds and be a bit more of a defensive presence. He needs to put his body on the line for that, but that's going to have to come as the season goes. When we take a look at the points, and bigger minutes for Manic, but just about as big an impact for Rob Lowe, especially in terms of the glass. That's why John really, I'm sure, is challenging this Wildcat squad to be better in that respect.
Have a look at the starting 5 tonight. Starting with the Sky Sport Breakers, Isaiah Moriohu-Le'afa in the backcourt with Will McDowell-White. Tom Abercrombie, the captain, on the wing, and that explosive front court of Jarrell Brantley and Derek Pardon. And for the Perth Wildcats and Coach John Riley, how about these couple of changes? Luke Travers into the starting lineup, Brady Maddock and Tashawn Thomas, but Bryce Cotton are now alongside Corey Webster. 237 games for the Breakers, 3 championships. It wasn't without some off-court drama his time with the Breakers, but geez, on the court, he will go down in history as one of New Zealand's greatest ever scorers.
He's carried a flame his entire career. He hasn't gotten off to the greatest start this season, but at any point in time, that flame can get reignited. And the Breakers fans are hoping it's not tonight.
The second time of trying with the Wildcats, of course. Corey, having signed before heading overseas to Europe previously, just 2-10 against the Brisbane Bullets earlier this round, but he'll look to turn that around in one of his favorite buildings, Spark Arena. His family's in attendance. His little children running around in Webster Wildcats jersey, which still takes a while to get used to, Casey. But he will have adrenaline coursing through those veins tonight, Corey Webster.
Well, inserted in the starting lineup, this is a gym he is well familiar with his crowd, but I know C-Web, he doesn't mind being the villain. He does not mind coming in here and quieting this crowd down with a couple of jump shots, and this is an explosive offensive lineup for the Perth Wildcats. This is as much shooting, I think, as they can put on the court. They're gonna be fast up and down. They're gonna challenge the transition defense as well as the perimeter defense of the Breakers unit to start this game.
Doesn't mind being the villain. Wildcats and Webster, a match made in heaven, and we're underway. The Breakers control the tip, and it's Will McDowell-White with ball in hand. The Breakers resplendent in pink again in 2022. Inside for Pardon. It's going to be the captain, Tom Abercrombie, putting up the first shot, a little long. There's that offensive bring-down prowess of the Breakers. Bradley goes to work past Travers, and the first points of this one go to the Sky Sport Breakers. And then straight away, an early timeout from John Riley, an animated John Riley and the Perth Wildcats.
Well, this is all that the Wildcats would have been talking about the last couple of days. We need to keep this Breaker squad off the glass. And that timeout where they're going to spray right now, because that one possession, you don't get it done, that's all you've been asked for.
Well, while John Riley lets his players what he knows, let's hear from him. He caught up with Casey earlier.
Well, Coach, quick turnaround from your last game, which didn't go the way you wanted, especially on the boards, against a really impressive Breakers team on the rebounding front. How do you turn that around with a short amount of time to do it?
Look, as I've been preaching all year, it's our team has to be a gang rebounding team, but the likes of Travers and Thomas, you know, they've got to be a little more assertive and aggressive, because they're the athletes that need to get on the glass for us so we can get in motion offensively.
It's been going to the defensive side, looking at Barry Brown Jr., one of the most explosive offensive players in the league, in quite a tear, and an isolation-heavy player. 27% of his possessions are in ISO. What is your plan on that one? Are you going to try and defend him one-on-one, or send those extra bodies and get those rotations going?
Yeah, look, we're going to start with our team concepts. Defensively, gap help, give the responsibility to Mitch Norton to chase him around. And then if he gets cooking like he has been all year, we'll make some adjustments as we go along.
Always the name of the game. Appreciate the time, Coach. Good luck.
Well, the Wildcats had to stand out on court almost like naughty schoolchildren after being told off and waiting for the Breakers to finish their timeout, but an early statement from their own coach.
But rebounding's a simple thing. You got to put your body on the line. You have to find these guys and shove them out. Now, it's a tough task against a squad as physical as this Breakers unit, but you still know what to do. They knew what to do, they just couldn't get it done.
Here is Corey Webster elevating from the elbow, rattles in his first bucket, and that'll be a nice settler for Corey.
Watch out, Breakers fans. Corey Webster's got it dialed in. High elevation off that, and a good response to the offensive rebound putback on the other end.
Dow White and Brantley, little two-man game. That was stuck between an alley-oop pass and a floater. Comes away as Wildcats ball. There is Webster and Abercrombie. Known each other since schoolboy days. Thomas with a long two that goes as well.
Corey Webster really over-penetrating, drawing Derek Pardon in there, and once he drew both defenders, made it an easy mid-range jump shot for Thomas to finish.
Now the scampers through the screen. Brantley in the corner in front of his own bench.
Oh, it's all about the on-ball penetration for the Breakers. If they can draw the extra defenders into the paint, they will be kicking it out to those shooters all night long. They've been on a tear from deep of late.
Bennett looking for some help. Finding it. Former Bryce Cotton gets dancing, fires it over to Thomas. 3 on the shot clock. And a little miscommunication there from the Wildcats, and it's a turnover, Breakers ball.
Well, even if the handoff had happened, it would have been dead time. There was only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Not a lot of opportunity. Breakers doing well to extend that possession defensively.
White getting around the Bradley screen.
Charge called on Will McDowell-White on that one, well after the pass.
Sean Thomas.
Not like it.
Putting his body on the line. Have a look here, Casey.
You see the rotation coming over late. Yeah, he's sitting there, he takes it well. Nice job of putting your body on the line and wearing it.
Great work, Sky Sport camera crew as well.
And look at the physicality of Brantley on Grady Manick, really meeting him up the lane.
Thomas and Pardon out on the perimeter. Cotton trying to get free. It's hard when those long arms of Tom Abercrombie are in the way. Webster elevates from three-point land, can't get it to go. Manick almost came down with it, but it will be Breakers' ball.
But that's the kind of effort the Perth Wildcats need to see, not just on one play, not just on two, but on every single play, attacking that glass, making it difficult for the Breakers to pull and run off those defensive rebounds.
Liatha stripped by Webster. Travers hits the handoff, fires it back to Corey Webster, an 80-plus time tall black. Here's Cotton. It's up a three ball, that's too strong, and Pardon comes down with the rebound.
For the most part, Breakers keeping Perth outside that three-point line. Not a ton of penetration early.
Liatha catch and shoot from the wing. Time it doesn't go. Sean Thomas comes down with it, and Cotton will bring it the other way for Perth. Pulls up from two-point land. And McDowell-White plucks that one out the air.
Probably lucky are the Breakers. Bryce Cotton doesn't miss too many of those open mid-rangers.
Pardon up at his left and kisses it off the glass.
And did so well to go out of the cylinder to keep that catch. As you see a turnover on the way back from Travers, throwing it a bit too high for Thomas. Not the response they wanted after a nice post play from Pardon. Beautiful pass by White. And then look at there, Pardon almost banged Corey Webster on the back with the basketball before the make.
Well, a lot of talk of Corey Webster, of course, and rightly so, back in the building, but Majok into the game for the Perth Wildcats, another former breaker.
And the breaker that didn't get quite as much playing time, always seemed to be on the bad side of Dan Shamir, but has really reinvited his career in Perth.
The ball pinballs around and ends up in the hands of Isaiah Liatha, who drains the tray.
Well, they just got their eye in so tight from all over the perimeter. Shooters galore outside of Pardon. Everybody's got the ability and the green light.
There's Webster, driving and finishing.
Not great rotation by the Breakers, but a good attack by Webster with speed.
Abercrombie turns down a three and athletically bends himself around Luke Travers in the air.
Great challenge by Travers to make a double or triple pump layup for Thomas Abercrombie difficult, but the athletic finish better than the athletic contest.
Good hand from McDowell-White and Abercrombie. They combine for the steal. Corner three. Misses everything, and Bryce Cotton comes away with it.
Good rebound there on the previous possession. Manick needs to do a better job of sealing. You've got to guard on your back. You've got to keep him there.
Cotton into Majok, fouled hard. And Majok will go to the line.
Bryce Cotton coming in off the on-ball and finding a little bit of success with the penetrate and kick. Draws multiple defenders there, drops to Majok. He takes the hammer from Brantley, and we'll head to the line now.
Into the game for the Wildcats comes Jesse Wagstaff. Another who, alongside Tom Abercrombie, will remember the battles of yesteryear well.
And a man well familiar with this environment and well familiar with what it takes to beat a top quality Breakers side. And he spoke all week since the Bullets game about how it was the mistakes that they've been making and need to find some consistency. And he is one man when he's playing his best, is ever consistent.
Majok makes them both from the line. Top Blanchford also into the game for the Wildcats. One to line. Correction. Tom Adanovich out there for the Breakers. And Barry Brown Jr., who will be a marked man after his 31-point barrage on Thursday night. Here he is to the hoop. Foul, bucket, and to the line he goes.
He is just on one right now. That's all there is to it. That hoop is as big as anything. He is so explosive. Norton up there trying to pressure, but the first step so explosive to that left hand. You got to be cognizant of the jump shot right now because he's shooting 50% from deep over his last 4. You combine that too, it just makes for such a tough cover, or even more difficult scout.
Norton and Wagstaff. Blanchfield looking to probe. Go back to Norton. Drops it off to Majuk. Looking early inroads is Majuk.
Breaker's being pretty passive on these on balls, more passive than you see him against some teams, and that's allowing deep penetration, drawing multiple defenders for those little drop-off finishes.
Brown looking to sling it through, but Mitch Norton read it well.
Excellent read by Norton, getting back in that pass lane, starting the break.
Blanchfield just took an extra second to gather the ball and put him off his rhythm. Bogdanovic to Abercrombie, giving that bit of space and drains the 3-ball to make him pay.
Good recognition by Tom Bogdanovic to kick it on instead of go for the dribble handoff, giving Abercrombie time to get that triple off.
There's Abercrombie clattering into Jesse Wagstaff.
Tough to run full speed into the guy with the ball and complain about the call, but Thomas Abercrombie tried to do so there.
Claiming that Jesse Wagstaff pivoted into him.
I think he's allowed to pivot when he's got the ball in hand. He's not officially a screener till he gets rid of it. And take another look at the triple by Abercrombie before he sends off. Good contest, but not enough. It still tickles the twine.
There's Wagstaff to the other end. Missing that one. The Breakers come away with it through Brown. Yaffa, who enjoyed the win against his former team on Thursday night down in Otatahi, Christchurch. Pardon. Bogdanovic wide open in the corner. He makes them pay.
Well, Pardon's making a nice decision out of that short roll there. The Wildcats showing more on the ball, making Pardon have to be that facilitator, and he does so perfectly on his first attempt.
Wagstaff with some razzle, and the Wildcats add the dazzle. There's one man who can, it's this. Cotton dancing, weaving, spinning, missing.
Well, tough offensive make to get. Good defense, but better defense on the other side by Norton with his second steal already.
Wagstaff going Cam Glidden. Foul there, Bogdanovic just getting a bit of Wagstaff's hand.
Second look at the Barry Brown turnover. Just went for the crossover, hit his foot, and Mr. Norton in the right place at the right time, picks up the steal.
Pardon takes the seat. This does Liatha.
Fifth personal foul there, so free throws for Jesse Wagstaff. As Brantley checks back in the ball game.
Jesse Wagstaff, Casey, won more games in the NBL between 2010 and 2020 than any other player. Do you know who was second?
Thomas Abercrombie?
No.
One of his teammates, Greg Heyer? Okay. Mika Vakona?
Alex Pledger.
I was going by through your favorites.
Alex went to Melbourne, of course, and won there as well.
Trivia's breaking out early. I wasn't
anticipating a
prepared for
close game. Anticipating we'll be dialed in down the fourth. Dow White. Go around the Rob Lowe screen. Our first look at Rob Lowe tonight. Quick hands from the Breakers. Brown with a pump fake. Goes at Manic. Thomas comes away with the rebound.
Good defense. I love that second rotation there. Manic a bit out of position, but does enough to dissuade the Barry Brown Jr. attempt.
Blanchfield and Glidden all know each other well. Various Australian duties over the years. Turnaround jumper from Manic on the baseline. It's pretty, and it goes.
Well, he's getting his eye in as the season goes along. A beautiful jump shot. Love the arc and the physicality with which he got to it in that mismatch on the post.
Cotton and Brown up on each other's grill. Screen from Lowe. Brown doesn't need any finishes. Barry Brown Jr. to the line.
Just a beautiful use of the change of speed by Barry Brown Jr. there. Comes off the little hesitation there, freezes. Thomas opens up the lane for the reinsertion on the finish. The kiss off the glass takes the contact as well, and he is picking up right where he left off. Can he just go game to game to game? That's what he's thinking right now. Want to keep that streak going.
Reverse the three-point play. gives the Breakers a 24-14 lead here with under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Breakers picking up where they left off on Thursday night in their last 5 games, all of which have been wins since their close loss to the Sydney Kings. Blanchfield right under the hoop on the logo, waiting for a whistle.
Well, they went for the jump ball, had the Breakers just sort of seal them up there. It could have been a 3-second call any moment as he lived down there, but the Wildcats will be left with just 6 seconds on the shot clock to get something off cleanly. See the nice hand by Cam Glidden and the scramble underneath.
So Cotton to inbound, 5 on the shot clock. Thomas dupes everyone. Cotton is fouled hard under the hoop and will go to the line to shoot 2.
I probably would have liked to see him shoot that one, everybody out of possession. Luckily for Cotton, he was able to get fouled because I don't think he was expecting it either, made for an awkward attempt. And when you're wide open like that, you got the good look. Just shoot the ball. Your teammates will get on the glass with you. But the out of rhythm stuff is when things get a little funky.
Cotton makes them both. 24-16, minute 30 to go in this first quarter. Webster has checked back into the game for the Wildcats.
Real liberal rotations for both teams early.
Brown looking to use the bank late on the Saturday night. Doesn't go for him this time. Here comes Cotton around a big Thomas screen. Drops it off to Deshaun Thomas through the contact. Smart finish.
Well, takes that physical bump and still able to finish. Rob Lowe does well not to foul, but Bryce Cotton creating for himself and others early.
Down White, Brentley. The off-ball movement was good, and the shot wasn't. Into the hands of Barry Brown Jr., who couldn't finish either.
Offense has gotten really stagnant for the Breakers, and the Wildcats are finding a bit of rhythm on the other side.
Thomas, good contest from Rob Lowe. Brown comes away with it. Yaffa getting ready to check back in. 35 seconds to go. Here's Glidden. Looking for Brentley, but Norton being a pest. Thomas comes over to help. Down right, stutter step, 3 ball, drains it over Corey Webster.
His confidence in the jump shot, you can see growing game by game. Nice find by Brantley out of the double with a physical defense that he was able to get that pass out of regardless.
Cotton gets the switch onto Glidden. Trying to draw the foul. Glidden does well, but the ball goes straight back to Cotton. And this time he is fouled on the back of the head.
Bryce Cotton. You cannot sleep on him for a heartbeat. Great D by Cam Glidden. Was there the entire way, gets the block, but you know, Bryce Cotton, as good as he is, he's got a little of that luck in him as well. The ball just bounces right back to him, enabling him with just, would have been about 0.4 left on the clock after all this. See the Karam goes around right back in the hands, takes the contact. No chance on the shot, but certainly has a chance on these free throws here.
We can be louder. Come on, Spark Arena.
Interesting that all the players are staying in there. We've got 0-0-0 on the clock. Seeing if they might be adding just a bit here. Let's see how much time does get added to it. Because if the players are allowed in on the free throw line, there's got to be at least 1/10 of a second left in this one. We're just waiting for the score bench to figure out how exactly to get that much time on the clock.
Talk about being iced at the free throw line. Bryce Cotton just standing there waiting.
You can't ice water. It is impossible. I do not think, I mean, I guess it does, but ice doesn't get that much colder.
Don't bring science at me now.
I am not the man to bring science at you.
We should stay away from science. 4 points for Corey Webster so far. His return to Spark Arena. Think of many other high-profile returnees. Kurt Penny with the Illawarra Hawks.
That's about it. Over the years, not too many of the.
You're way back to when Boucher.
Dylan Boucher, Mika Makona, of course, when he came back with Melbourne. the Dragons at that time.
Cedric Jackson.
Wasn't as big a deal at that point in the career, I think.
Yeah, he wasn't really lighting it up for Melbourne like he did here, I guess.
Yeah, trying to get the clock to 0.6, and they got that now. And now, Bryce Cotton, now that he's cooled down, no sweat left, will get up a couple of free throws. I feel they're both going to go in. I think he will overcome.
The question is, will any of them even hit the rim?
That's always the question with Bryce Cotton.
Makes them both. Of course he does. The Hail Mary's going to go up for the Breakers, but Mitch Norton's going to get a shot to put it back the other way. And that'll do us for the first quarter, 27-20. So Corey Webster's return has seen 4 points so far from him in the first quarter. The New Zealand Breakers lead the Perth Wildcats 27-20 at quarter time. Welcome back to Spark Arena. The Breakers lead the Wildcats 27-20 with the second quarter about to get underway. Hugh Baden here alongside Casey Frank and Brooke Rusco with us as well tonight.
John Relly, coach of the Perth Wildcats, wanted them to tidy up one thing in particular. It's their short roll off the pick and roll. Derek Parton's done a good job, Tom Vodanovic as well, of getting to the spots and then finding shooters from there. So watch them to be aggressive on that short roll right there.
John Relly applauding his team and the defensive start to this second quarter. Abercrombie wears one in the face, but recovers, gets Matic to bite. Can't get his two ball to go. Vodanovic working hard for the board, getting it.
Those offensive rebounds are crushers. Even if the make doesn't go in for Vodanovic, all that work for a second chance, exactly what really doesn't want to see, but able to get a stop eventually.
Step. Gets Abercrombie to bite, but Liafa picks his pocket.
Well, excellent timing in hands by Liafa, picking the pocket there.
Foul called on Thomas. Casey Isaiah, Morioho Liafa, you see him with the steal here. Just blossomed since returning back to New Zealand and playing for the Breakers.
His offensive game is just exploding. Has a lot of confidence in the way he's playing right now, and defensively, he's always been a gem.
Parton in more space than he could even imagine when he makes the Wildcats pay.
He makes excellent decisions on that short roll of the catch. When the defenders come, he gives it up willingly. When not, he's got the strength and agility to finish.
Matic, that high release three, and he uses the glass.
use the glass or let the glass use you. Either way, the 3 counts. You will take it when you can.
Started growing his hair and beard during lockdowns. As the Alpha puts up a 3 and returns immediately.
That is a deep return. And did we all start growing our hair and beard during lockdowns? Or let it continue to be so?
Brady Maddox certainly has.
And then, unfortunately for most of us, we have to re-enter society. Brady Maddox, Hooper, doesn't matter.
You go back and look at videos and pictures of him playing for Oklahoma for the Sooners, and he had a buzz cut and was clean shaven. Webster finds some space and drains the 2-ball.
Oh, he's playing with a lot of smoothness today, having a lot of opportunity with the ball in hand with Cotton on the bench and taking advantage of it. That's that second score Perth desperately needs.
Down White over to Lealta. This one doesn't go, and Travis comes down with the board.
Had a good look at it, wanted to get the heat check going, can't find the range.
Travis over to Webster, 3-ball. Harden comes down with it, Lealta looking for options. 7-point lead for the Breakers early in the second quarter. Here's Pardon double team. Abercrombie finds some space, fouled by Harris.
A timely cut by Thomas Abercrombie there. They're sure that it was going to be a kick to the corner for the 3-point opportunity, but the cut puts him in bad position and forces him into the foul. And now they're saying not shooting. As Thomas Abercrombie didn't have much of an angle to the basket.
One of those ones that if he wasn't pushed, he might have elevated for a throwdown, but instead looked for the pass. So, really good foul there from Harris.
I kind of think it was his attempt to add a shot, but just couldn't get it up because he was so off balance because of the contact.
Either way, Breakers ball. Take it from the baseline. Here's Pardon. Gonna let to hand it off to Brown Jr. The Wildcats just doing well to stymie this Breakers offense a little bit more than we've seen in recent weeks. Brown Jr. forced into a tough shot, but high off the glass, he gets it to drop.
He's just got such an excellent awareness of the shot clock and exactly how much time he has, and then that skill to kiss it off the glass for the finish with the left. Really impressive.
Maddox throws out from Abercrombie. Travis in there causing trouble and keeping the ball alive for the Wildcats.
Getting some success on the offensive glass and then taking advantage of it. Unfortunately, Webster cannot.
Everything but the bucket for Corey Webster. Barry Brown Jr. just lost the ball out of his hands, and here's Travers running the floor, dropping it off the Cotton.
Oh, that's not gonna count. That would have gone had Travers not get it, possibly. But once he touches it, that takes away the bucket. So 2 free throws for Bryce Cotton now. Travers so deadly on the break, both as a finisher and a decision maker. The Breakers facing a little bit of foul trouble. Brantley, Abercrombie, and Vodanovich all on 2 fouls. Just 4 players with 1 foul apiece for the Wildcats. And this is one area where teams can stay close to the Breakers. They play that aggressive style of defense and tend to give up a lot of free throws because of it.
Down White, Cotton on him. It's away from him briefly. Brantley now has Cotton on him. Looks to go to work. Gerard Brantley around the corner to Pardon. Great fine foul. And to the line goes Pardon. Ooh, a slightly sore noggin.
Well, there's not a lot of padding up there, so when you take an elbow, it hurts a little bit worse. Well, he's going to rub some dirt on it. He'll be tough. Beautiful pass by Brantley. You see the elbow straight to the head. Brantley, he just hunts out those mismatches. He saw Bryce Cotton on him. He was licking his chops. Double came. He makes the right decision. Pardon does the rest.
He's going to have to shake off the headache. Derek Pardon. He does just that. Converts the 3-point play.
Breakers' 3rd free throw of the evening. 10 already for Perth.
A 10-point lead for the Sky Sport Breakers, 37-27. Cotton.
Oh, that's a couple of looks Bryce Cotton has had early that he hasn't hit, but it's been my experience when he doesn't have his eye in early, it definitely comes in late.
Brantley throwing over to Madal White, quick hands. Liafa put off by a charging Cotton in his periphery. 6 on the shot clock. 3 seconds in the key.
Well, it looked like Derek Pardon was out of the key when that was called. But great scramble by Perth. I thought the offense was good until that 3-second call. They were really making Perth come back with not second efforts, but third, fourth, fifth efforts to try and stop that. Eventually the 3 seconds goes their way, so they let off the hook. But a real struggle to get all those rotations going.
And Norton, and there's another offensive foul. This time he pushes McDowell White away. So turnovers at either end.
Yeah, just the extension of that elbow into McDowell White. Not sure how much effect it had him, but he was in the air, so it looked like it. And John Riley, seen enough, so he'll call a timeout. There's that elbow. And probably more just a circumstance than actual effect. Regardless, he picks up the foul. The Wildcats just probably want to discuss what they're getting going on the offensive end. And John Riley, of course, he's got a bit.
As the teams talk it over, we'll hear from Brooke Rusko.
All right, I'm here with Tony Webster, father of Corey Webster. Now, we're so used to see Corey in the Breakers uniform, but he's here in the red and white. What's it like watching him in the red and white tonight?
It doesn't matter what team he's on. You know, I just enjoy watching my son play. It doesn't matter what team he's on. I'm here to support him. We've got our grandsons here, and my wife and my daughter. We're all here watching him.
Real family affair. Now, you're a family that's been around basketball forever and ever, and obviously you're supporting Corey and the boys last night. If you were putting on your coaching hat, what would you say to those guys in that first quarter?
Defense. They got to play a lot of better defense than they're playing at the moment. They've got to box out. The Breakers are very tough on the offensive rebounding end, so they got to box out. The Breakers are a tough team. Tough team, man. Yeah, it's going to be a battle.
Tony, great to see you. I'll let you get back to it. Thank you. Amen. Thank you, Bob.
It's T-Web and the great NBL, New Zealand NBL imports.
The original T-Web in New Zealand. Of course, his son has stolen that moniker now. Ty Webster, of T-Web of his own right. Heck of a scorer. T-Web back in the day, too small. Heard quite a bit.
(37-27). The Breakers lead the Wildcats. Looking to make it 6 in a row, and the Wildcats looking to break a 2-game losing streak. Brantley sees that mismatch again. This time he fires it back to McDowell White. Straight back to Brantley. He can't get the finish.
Bryce Cotton might have got away with some contact, but the Wildcats give him a lot of attention to Brantley down low.
Nashville walks into a 3 that doesn't drop. Brady Manick working hard down there, giving his team a 3rd opportunity. And here's Mitch Norton, wide open for 3. He drains it.
These extra opportunities, exactly what Coach John really wanted to see. Brady Manick already picking up his 3rd offensive rebound early in this one. Nice to see that kind of activity from him.
Yeah. So Barry Brown sizes up to Sean Thomas. And there's a travel from Isaiah Liafa.
This amoeba-like man defense that's sort of a zone what this Wildcats team is playing right now, giving the Breakers some fits. They're struggling to find the penetration lanes when they have the mismatches in the post. There's too many players in the vicinity to really take advantage of it.
Cotton inside to Manick. The back down Brantley turnaround, the quick one at that, and a beautiful finish from Brady Manick. And a timeout from Modi Mao and the Sky Sport Breakers.
It's a nice little run in response of John Riley's timeout. They've come out, executed a little bit better, created some nice quality looks, but most importantly, as Corey Webster's dad, T-Web, said, playing some good D.
Well, we've spoken a lot about Corey Webster tonight, and you know what? Tom Abercrombie has played with Corey Webster more than any other player ever. Let's hear from the man himself about his now opponent.
Yeah, we've got a long history, me and Corey. We've played together for a very long time. You know, not a lot of times that we've played against each other. you know, it feels a bit strange seeing him in that Wildcats uniform, but you know, happy that he's found a home for himself over there, and yeah, looking forward to that. I'm sure he'll be fired up to go up against his old team, and yeah, it'll be a strange one, but I'm looking forward to the competition and to match up against him. It'll be great.
It's the first time they played against each other in the Australian NBL. They would have played against each other a few times in New Zealand NBL action over the years.
Well, of course, they both checked into their debut game at the same time in the NBL in September 2008 versus the Hawks back in the North Shore. So not only played a long time together, played their first seconds in the league together. That's pretty impressive.
And we can head over to Brooke Rusco as the game gets back underway.
Yeah, John Riley's loving this right now. Perth Wildcats head coach came out of their timeout. Junkyard style of basketball that they've gone to at the moment. This defense is causing a bit of trouble, as we see Barry Brown, get into the paint and get to the line, but he likes the defense that they're playing with at the moment. It's causing some troubles, and look for them to stay with that for the next 4 and 10.
Yeah, they've mucked it up, and it's slowed this Breakers unit down quite a bit. It is a zone, but it's not exactly a zone. There's a lot of switching. It's got some man principles to it. It's really extended as well. Just kind of mush-like everywhere, and the Breakers really struggling to penetrate it.
Brown gets his first to go, up to 9.
3 for 3 from the stripe.
He's the first player into double digits in this one.
As neither team has missed a free throw yet. 15 for 15.
Game for the purists so far. Here's Thomas trying to find Bryce Cotton, but Brown doing a great job keeping Cotton out of it. Here's Brantley the other way. Throws it down with 2 hands.
Well, really well read there. Out there extending the defense, but jumped that passing lane. Perfectly timed for the steal.
Stretches the lead out to 9 for the Breakers.
Much more committed defense in these passing lanes on these last couple of possessions.
Norton with a smart finish over Pardon.
Isaiah Liapa lost him on the back door, and Norton gets straight into the paint for that finish.
There's Liapa earning a foul.
He extended that forearm into Liapa as he came off of it. Taking a lovely look at the Brantley steal, gets the steal with the right hand and sees no one's coming, so I'll just do a little chin up. So he smashes it, places it in with a slight amount of aggression.
Isaiah Liapa at the line.
5th team foul on the Wildcats as we see our first missed free throw of the game. I did mention it, didn't I? 5th team foul, just 1 on the Breakers up to this point. I think that's one of the reasons we saw that aggressiveness pick up these last couple of possessions. You should continue to see that for the last 3 minutes.
Liapa makes the second, and Ken Glidden checks in for him.
And this can be a danger time for Perth. The Breakers, as of late, have closed for the first half so well, really been closing quarters overall. High skill.
Thomas pulls up from the free throw line. He gets the 2 to go.
Created by the Bryce Cotton penetration. He's done a nice job on a few plays of finding Thomas in space to shoot that mid-range, up to 6 now.
Brown Jr. McDowell White from the wing. Maddock comes down with the rebound. There's Thomas blocked, pinned against the backboard by Derek Pardon.
Excellent hustle to get back into play, and the first man down to break the other way.
John Riley's face is red as his shirt, yelling for that foul as Brantley can't get the putback to go.
Well, a lot of things breaking the way of the Wildcats. This should be a bigger deficit than it is, but they're right there. The make here would be huge.
Thomas will go all the way around. Blanchfield, right place, right time.
Well, he worked his way into it as Modi Moore calls a timeout, just out-hustled Brantley on the box out there, works his way around. It was looking like it might be a walk-away half. Instead, the Wildcats bring it right back in, down to 4 points.
Put your hands in the air if you think he's going to miss. Cross those arms. Do you think Wally is
we see James Reed, assistant coach for the Breakers, as New Zealand fans know him, but he's familiar with the Wildcat staff in a different way, was recruited by John Riley out of high school in Bend, Oregon. He knows this because John Riley was the only coach to travel to his home in Bend, Oregon. And he says he remembered that when he left junior college and decided to go to Boise State. John Riley remembers it a little different. Says, yeah, I had a 6-hour trip with one of my players, got there, watched the game, drove back, and then he didn't even come. But I eventually got him at Boise State a couple years later. But that's coaching for you. It's the little relationships you make along the way.
And now here they are, at the bottom of the world. Playing in the NBL, or coaching in the NBL. Good to see Breakers fans out in force on this Saturday night. A lot going on in Auckland tonight. Piano Man's in town.
It's true.
Billy Joel playing live at Eden Park, so there's some options. These fine folk have chosen the top team in the NBL to entertain them tonight.
This top team has a game on their hands. It's no surprise when the Wildcats come to town that the records, you can just throw them out. The game is more than likely going to be a close one.
Brown Jr., Nadal White, Liddon, Pardon, and Brantley out there for the Breakers.
Barry Brown Jr. is playing as well as anybody right now, but I still don't like the shot. It comes down, nobody else touches the ball. He ends up with a pull-up that is pretty heavily contested. Third personal foul on Brantley there, so his half will end, and he will have to be restricted in the second half as well. And not a great foul, challenging after that one. The Breakers not in their rhythm. The first time we've seen this in a few weeks. Defense of the Wildcats, the physicality of the Wildcats, taking its effect.
Under 2 minutes to go in this first half. Norton has Glidden on him. As Bryce Cotton again struggles to get open with Brown Jr. He does eventually though, and he's fouled.
Oh, that could be a goaltend. They're going to talk about it because Bryce Cotton, great backdoor cut. Jesse Wagstaff and him spoke about it as they were coming off the screens. Beautiful backdoor cut here, well delivered. And we see the foul there on Brown Jr., but there, you see the glass hit by Derek Pardon. He hits the glass. That, if they determine that can be a goaltend. And they have determined it is a goaltend. We will have one shot on this. Bryce Cotton, he's not up.
To bring the Wildcats within one. He does just that, 42-41.
17 for 18, these two teams have combined now from the charity stripe. Neither shooting great from three. But it's the hustle stats going in the favor of the Wildcats, leading the glass 17-15, a big area of concern coming in.
Brown Jr. gets Wagstaff on him. Puts on the jets, bumps him off, finishes. Webster. Oh, Glidden from behind.
Cam Glidden, 2 blocks in the first half. Defensive superstar.
Dow White, Pardon, again, 2 feet in the paint. Glidden for 3, he gets it to go.
Derek Pardon, again, as a decision maker in that short roll spot, draws multiple defenders, and you don't want to leave Cam Glidden because he will make you pay.
Cotton, fast hands. Majuk, just sitting in that dunker spot.
So concerned about the scoring ability of Cotton, made it an easy drop off. Majuk needs to send a thank you card to Bryce Cotton for that one.
Here's Barry Brown Jr. Mitch Norton ahead of him. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3 ball off to the left. And out of bounds it goes.
And Barry Brown Jr. just doesn't see a lot of driving lanes. Norton's on him. But behind Norton, multiple defenders, making him think that those lanes are going to close up more quickly than he needs them to.
So 16.5 seconds on the clock on this first half. Defense, the chant from the Breakers faithful here at Spark Arena. How will the Wildcats finish this half? Norton, corner, Webster for three, leaves it short. And that'll do us for the first half of action. Closer than these Breakers fans would like it to be, but it always is between the Breakers and the Wildcats. 47-43.
That was great defense by the Wildcats, forcing 8 turnovers here in the first half, rebounding well, holding the Breakers to 4 offensive rebounds, while just shooting 44% from the field, but 11 from the 11 for the line, keeping it tight. And we've got Brooke Roscoe with Bryce Cotton right now.
Yeah, well, Bryce Cotton, you switched up their defense in the second half, kind of went junkyard. You found some success in that.
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand's a great team. They're doing a game of run, so you're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. But if we could do a better job just making sure they work for the shots they get, if they score, we'll live with that versus open shots.
4-point game going into the half right now, but the 3 ball's not falling for you guys at the moment. But how do you assess the shots you're getting?
I mean, we take the shots that we work on. If it's open looks, we live with it, but try to get into the paint some more. But we still got to be who we are, whether the shots are falling or not.
Bryce Cotton, good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Barry Brown Jr. now making his way over to Brooke. And we can hear from him now.
Barry Brown Jr., another big half for you. 12 going into half. You're up 4 right now. How big does the hoop look for you right now?
It does not look big at all. I'm shooting air balls, turning the ball over. And so I got to take care of the ball and do what I need to do to help my team win.
Speaking about helping your team win, how do you guys go on to win this one, make it 6 in a row?
Play defense, no second chance points, find them in transition, and just shoot our own shots. We gotta be able to stay confident and shoot our shots.
Barry Brown, good luck in the second half.
Barry Brown Jr. leads the way for the Breakers at halftime with 12 points, and they lead the Perth Wildcats 47-43. Halftime here at Spark Arena. We'll be back after the break on the home of sport, Sky Sport.
time here at Spark Arena. Breakers go into this one up for 47-43, but what do we expect? It's a rivalry between the Wildcats and the Breakers.
Breakers got off to a good start, had a lot of freedom of movement, but as the game went along, the Wildcats choked that movement up and really jumped it up, made driving difficult, took away those lanes, and found a greater level of physicality, especially on the glass, to make things tough for the Breakers.
Breakers wouldn't be used to this. They've gone into the halftime up big over the last 2-3 games. How can they make this one 6 in a row?
Well, they're going to have to find a way, obviously, to slow down Bryce Cotton, but mostly they just need to execute better. 8 turnovers in that first half, too many for them. No freedom of movement. They have to find a way to attack this zone defense of the Wildcats, which right now showing real difficulty to get by.
Well, we look at the stats here in the first half. And Casey, what do you take away from this? Pretty similar when it comes to rebounds. Three-point shots is the key, though. 17% right now for the Wildcats.
If I'm the Wildcats, I'm pretty pleased. We're not shooting the ball well at all. 2 for 12 from deep. That's going to come back to the mean. This is one of the highest rate, three-point shooting rate teams in the league. They're going to get a lot up. So to be where they are now, shooting the ball like that, that's in a great spot. The Breakers, however, shooting the ball pretty well. They're going to be pretty disappointed to only be up this amount. The Wildcats making it tougher than it looks.
Well, there's 2 players that we have talked about all game long. We talked about them in the pregame as well. And once again, they've stepped up in the first half. Bryce Cotton and Barry Brown Jr. Now, Barry Brown Jr. said that he wasn't happy with his first half, but still managed to finish with 12. But that man on screen right now, Bryce Cotton, doing it again.
And early on, he didn't have a lot of ball in hand, but as the game goes on, that ball always finds him. He's doing a great job facilitating. You see the 5 assists already. Not really looking for his own shot, getting most of that from the free throw line, but you toss in the rebounds as well. Another complete performance from one of the best to ever do it.
Well, there's 3 things we can guarantee is Death Texas and Bryce Cotton showing up. Barry Brown Jr. is doing a pretty good job this year as well. Another big half from him at halftime.
Barry Brown Jr., he's got the drives to the lane, but those shut down, and when those shut down, he started settling for the jump stop without creating a lot of space. I'd like to see him drive those lanes even if there's multiple defenders in there, and when he doesn't have those tough angles on the finishes, he can start creating for some players, especially that big down there in the low post.
Well, foul trouble isn't a problem just yet, but Brantley's sitting on 3. If they lose him, how big is that?
Well, you can't have your best defender in foul trouble, and it will have its toll in the second half.
Well, we are moments away from getting back into this second half. Can the Breakers make it 6 in a row? Or the 2-game losing streak from the Wildcats, can they tidy that up? We'll be back right after the break.
Well, welcome back to Spark Arena. Halftime here, the third quarter just 3 minutes away. The New Zealand Breakers lead the Perth Wildcats 47-43. Hugh Batten here alongside Casey Franken. Casey, just a couple of times it threatened to get away from the Wildcats, but they've cut their claws in the Breakers and they're very much in this game.
Showing some mental resiliency there, getting back into the game despite the efforts of the Breakers. And now we've got to see in the second half if they're going to be able to keep it going. The Breakers have done a nice job so far this season of bouncing back when things weren't going their way. The Wildcats, as we've seen recently, have had trouble extending this level of play throughout the entirety of a game. Will that trend continue, or are they able to bucket today?
10 fouls on the Breakers, 8 fouls on the Wildcats, but it's who those fouls are on for the men in pink that could come back to haunt them later in this game.
Early in the game, Thomas Abercrombie all over Bryce Cotton. He kicks up his second foul. He can't guard him anymore. Bryce Cotton finds some freedom. Brantley, one of the key cogs for the Breakers defensively, offensively. He means so much to this team. With 3 personal fouls, he's going to have to change the way he plays. He's not going to be able to be on that razor's edge. He's going to have to settle it down a bit. What kind of effect will that not only have on his game, but the entirety of this Breakers offense?
There's a great crowd in at Spark Arena. And why wouldn't there be? With the Breakers rolling the way they are for the first time in a few years.
It's been a while since they were even in the building, much less rolling along in it. And the defensive efforts have become a staple for these Breakers performances. Still looking pretty solid offensively in this one. But as this game goes along, I feel both teams are going to start to choke the life out of one another.
I saw a glimpse of the great Lindsay Tate in the Spark Arena crowd. Good to see former greats of the game still very much involved. No more so than the man sitting to my right.
Brooke Roscoe over there.
2 of them. Well, there's Corey Webster, made of his return. So far, 6 points to his name.
Got off to a great
against the Breakers. Sorry, Casey.
Got off to a great start early. Couple of looks. Looked like he was going to get a little bit of freedom of movement as the game went along. He started to pay a bit more attention to him, but was able to do it on both ends. 3 for 8. That's a nice number of shots for him, a decent efficiency. And I do have a feeling that he will try to get himself more involved here in the second half. But this defensive backcourt of the Breakers makes things difficult for every opponent, much less one with that history of the club that Corey Webster has.
Still strange seeing him in a Wildcats jersey. Still strange seeing him wear number 10. Great to see him back. Bryce Cotton has 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists to his name. So we're just 10 seconds away from the second half getting underway here at Spark Arena between these 2 great foes. All 3 of the Breakers championships in the start of the 2010s, they had to go through the Wildcats. In 2011, they beat them in the semis. In 2012 and 2013, they beat them in the grand final. 2016, Perth got one back and beat the Breakers in the grand final. And the story continues in NBL23. Into Brady Manick, go the Wildcats, Pardon with the rebound.
Good read, had the mismatch, went straight to the post, but stout defense by McDowell White makes a tough shot to finish.
Liafa, Brantley back into the game, gets the feed from Liafa. Pardon surrounded by Wildcats as Webster comes away with the steal. Pass, threading the needle from Travers, and there's Maddox 3, leaves it short, and out of bounds it goes.
Well, nice turn from defense to offense, had the Breakers scrambling and created a really nice look out of it. But just the wrong distance dialed up for Brady Manick.
Down White to the hoop, up with the left, swatted away by Deshaun Thomas.
Huge block, but Deshaun Thomas there. I thought McDowell White was loading up for takeoff, but Thomas rolls quickly to take away that opportunity and then takes away all light as well with that block perfectly timed.
McDowell White dropping inside to Pardon. John really wants to travel. The ref's called a foul.
The contact underneath, nice rotation, making it a more difficult finish than it initially looked on the entry pass. And there we see a nice catch. Corey Webster comes over, you see the grab, and that's where the foul was called, not on the block up high, but Corey Webster's hands on the jersey of Pardon. And of course,
Pardon lets the Breakers fans take a seat.
which is still the strangest reversal of fortunes. You're supposed to wait till the other team scores, but you know, the Breakers do it the way they want to do it.
It went away briefly, didn't it?
For a bit.
For a couple of years, and now it's back, and the fans love it.
I think it went away because the Breakers started having real trouble scoring in the third quarter. So everybody just decided to sit down. But
always the funniest though. Here's Webster dropping it off to Travers. Nice finish, nice patience shown by young Luke Travers.
Does a nice job in the dunker spot of making himself available. An easy finish off the fine.
Comes up to set the screen for Liapa. Gets Webster to bite. Down White glances up at the shot clock. 7 left on it. Liapa, deep 3 ball. High off the back iron. Maddock comes down with it.
Good strong rebounding for Brady Maddock today. 7 points and able to pull down his 5th board.
Brantley gets in the passing lane. At Cotton and finishes. Well, the second breakaway steal for Jarrell Brantley. That one not as explosive on the finish.
But he's just always under control. He understands that Bryce Cotton has no chance to stop his from scoring there. As you see a great steal just getting in that lane. And with the dominion of Cotton in front of him, he knows he can take his time to get the finish. Probably more than anything trying to get the foul as well. Doesn't get it, but will take the 2.
Floor just getting a wipe from the Woppets. Tom Abercrombie directing traffic down under the hoop.
Thursday night, Spark Arena. Get your ticket. Ticketmaster.co.
Modi Mauer cuts a stressful figure early in this third quarter.
If coaches weren't stressing, I don't think they know what to do with themselves.
Brady Maddock. Thomas. Webster trying to get 3. Does so, looks to shrug off Liapa, drives and is fouled. So Corey Webster will head to line to shoot 2.
Like the mindset coming out, not settling for jump shots, but straight to the cup. The Breakers are struggling to keep the Wildcats off the free throw line. The Wildcats know it, they continue to attack. Just a bit too much contact there from Liapa as he's hounding him down the lane. Wildcats still perfect from the line, 12 for 12.
Make it 13 for 13, courtesy of Corey Webster.
Unlucky for some, but not for one. As C-Web hits 2.
51-47. Breakers lead the Wildcats. Upstairs we go to Pardo. What a find from Barry Brown Jr.
Really nicely executed play. Good screen by Abercrombie to take Thomas out, and a beautiful find by Barry Brown on the wall.
Here's Cotton around the Maddox screen. Shoots the 3. Drains the 3. Bryce Cotton.
And Bryce Cotton is a different beast on those switches. There's no Brantley there. He thought he had him, but he's able to elevate and create space with a bit of a fade at the same time. A tough shot he makes look simple.
Brown Jr. driving, looking to use the glass. This time it doesn't go, and Webster comes away with the ball.
Derek Pardon actually cleared out of that one. Nice physical box out by the Wildcats. Bryce Cotton heating up.
Looking to tie it up. Fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Saying they took away the landing zone. 3 shots for Bryce Cotton on this one. I believe it's going to be on Derek Pardon. And then we see the lob again. Great screen by Abercrombie. Easy finish. Almost had it directed straight down. That was almost going in. Athleticism on display again. But on the other end, Bryce Cotton, he's starting to get aggressive. I spoke about earlier, he was missing him. But when he misses him early, he always finds that eye late. 13 points for Cotton now. Exploding out of the gates here in the second half. just like that.
It makes them all, and this game is a tied ball game, 53 apiece.
You hear some murmurs in the crowd. What is the Breakers' response going to be? The offense not flowing as smoothly as it has, and the defense being cracked up by Bryce Cotton.
Harden from Brown Jr. flies over the alpha, step back three. Doesn't go, Thomas. Good box out, good rebound.
Work on the glass has been excellent by the Wildcats. They are really finding bodies and continue to make things tough for the Breakers.
Cotton in heavy traffic. Thomas, quick hands. Webster for three. Corey Webster.
You gotta love the extra passes. Thomas wide open, hits it to Webster, who's got it going himself now. Up to 11 points on 4 for 9 from the field. A 3-point lead for the Wildcats and a silent crowd.
Brown Jr. can't get it to drop. Fights for the rebound. It's Cotton who comes away with it. 4 breakers around him.
Well, the Breakers are looking out of sorts offensively, just don't have that pep we've seen of late.
It doesn't go from Cotton. And a foul called.
Brady Manick called over the back there.
Third foul on Manick.
We will take another look at it. Brantley doesn't get the box out early. A little bit of contact on the arm there, but see why Manick a little bit perplexed. A 3-point lead, had a chance to grow. But I'm really, what a response by the Wildcats after really getting it taken to them in overtime to the Bullets. Couldn't find a shot, couldn't execute, but they found a way to bounce back a short time later with a game on the road against the top of the table team.
Rob Lowe, we haven't seen much of Rob Lowe today. He's back into the game. He sets the screen for Will McDowell-White, and Will McDowell-White with the hoop and the harm.
Splitting the double team off the on ball, just gets through, and once he breaks that first line of defense, the back line just not enough of Corey Webster to try and deter that shot. He goes hard, tried to foul, but couldn't foul physically enough to take away the 3-point opportunity and a chance to tie here.
Second foul on Webster. Will McDowell-White misses that chance to tie it up.
Just the second miss of the game for the Breakers, still shooting 8 for 10 from the line.
Danik drops it off to Majuk. Fouled, and the finish. Fourth foul on Jarrell Brantley, and Majuk goes to the line for one more.
I just love the pass there by Manick, coming off really aggressive off that cut. Gets inside, makes low commit, and Brantley stuck out of position, tries to contest without fouling, but Majuk takes the contact, gets the make, and Brantley will be sitting for at least the next 5 and probably a bit longer than that. He means so much to this club, not always the highest scorer, but always a high output in terms of effort and emotion. Who's gonna pick up that slack here?
And Majuk ruins the Wildcats' perfect record from the line. And now just a meager 16 for 17. Abercrombie, quick first step, 2 foot, 2 hands.
Looking like it never aged a day. Tommy Abercrombie with the rip down the baseline and skies up for the smash. Takes the Breakers to 1.
Webster from mid-range. We're back in 2013.
This is what the Wildcats envisioned when they put this backcourt together. Webster and Cotton taking turns, slicing and dicing, tearing up the defense, 28 between them.
McDowell-White burrows down the lane, finishes beautifully with his left hand, and this game's heating up.
Well, the big guards of the Breakers starting to find some success off the on-ball, getting into the lane, using their physicality to bump the little guards off at the rim for the finish.
Webster, Abercrombie hits the deck on the screen. Webster does the rest, 2 points.
See Webb saying, maybe you watch those social media games before I come to town, because I'm coming hard. 15 apiece for Webster and Cotton.
Brown Jr. steps on the sideline.
Well, it takes away another lightning quick drive, and the crowd starting to get a little bit hushed. It's gotten quiet. It was loud early, but as this Wildcats team continues to find form, it's getting quieter and quieter. And take another look at Thomas Abercrombie, up and down. Too easy.
Webster.
Oh, this is going to fly. Stay on him. You know what's coming up now.
Oh,
you know what's
Corey
going up
Webster
now.
rattles it in.
Corey Webster, he's feeling it. 8 straight points. 18 in the game. Sorry, 7 straight points, 18 in the game, putting it together.
And the Wildcats lead 65-59. Abercrombie looking to fire back. In and out.
Decent shot, but it's starting to dry up for the Breakers, and now Bryce Cotton does what he does, gets foul. Finding a way to cake that contact. Everything turning up Wildcats early. Beautiful move by Webster. The crossover, the step back. Dials it from deep, nothing but nylon. Dropping through the net. C-Webb turning back the clock in a building he is overly familiar with.
And the Breakers, who hung around that 8 to 10 point lead mark for most of the first half, now find themselves down 6 with 3.5 minutes to go in the third. Here's Webster with extra energy to his game in the second half. Corey Webster off the glass.
This is a C-Webb we have not seen this season. He is inspired by a little bit of social media smack talk by his family in the building or coming back to the homeland. Either way, it's going now.
Brown Jr. Flies it over.
He's trying to find John Riley.
Almost straight to the Perth Wildcats coach. Liafa intercepted it. Off to the left. Rob Lowe gets the offensive rebound. He does just in time and hits the rim.
He still play with it. First stop, but the Breakers didn't.
John Riley is losing his mind down here in front of us.
Well, he's right. It looked like that ball was in the hands of Rob Lowe on 0 and the shot clock didn't go off. That's what he's concerned with. 0's on the board, no buzzer going off. But it doesn't matter because they get the rebound anyway. Vodanovic gets the foul. And the Breakers looking at their first double-digit deficit in weeks.
There's one man in the building who would love to put them in that deficit. It's Jesse Wagstaff.
He has had not just some games against the Breakers, he's had a career against the Breakers.
One of those players who transcended eras so much that, how many different hairstyles did we see?
I don't know, but this one's definitely not my favorite. It's all good, it's not my favorite.
That's fine. Lowe sets the screen. Brown Jr. sees a bit of space.
Wow, a lot of contact.
Makes a lot of contact. It doesn't faze him.
Heard the slap through here, through the headphones. Doesn't matter, still gets the make. Maybe that's the inspiration he needs to get his game going a bit. 14 for him on 5 for 13 from the field.
Norton dashing baseline. McDowell White with the legal defense. And here he goes the other way. Liafa, Vodanovic steps into a 3. Drains it, Tom Vodanovic.
Oh, John Riley calls a timeout instantly. One of the few transition opportunities we've seen from the Breakers today.
If you haven't already, get your
We'll see the Vodanovic 3 as John Riley grills Michael Aylan.
and an Perth Vortex to the lucky fans who, within this timeout, likes either our Twitter.
So the Wildcats talk it over. They lead 69-64 over the Breakers.
Well, they just had that 10-point lead, and just like that, back to 5. Hence why John Riley calls that timeout. He knows how important a lead's going to be coming down the stretch. Corey Webster, 20 points. What a return to Spark Arena.
The guy can just get right at you because they're anticipating you coming out and looking for the short roll. Okay.
The Breakers, on the other hand, getting it done without Brantley, who's on the bench with those 4 fouls. 3 fouls on Vodanovic, 2 on Abercrombie and Brown Jr. With that foul trouble, they're going to have to play without it for the rest of the game. Brooke Roscoe, what do you got for us?
Yeah, a name that came up a lot with the Sky Sport Breakers in that timeout specifically was no other than Corey Webster. No surprises right there. Whoever has Corey as the assignment right now is locked in on Corey. Don't let him catch the ball. But the Warriors, once Corey gets going, and he's seen so much attention that way as Bryce Cotton shows up. So that's going to be the big standout point right here for the Sky Sport Breakers on this defensive end. But I also think it's not the worst thing in the Breakers. They've been winning these games for like 20, 30, 40 over the last couple of weeks. So this right here is a good test for the Breakers.
Webster pulls up, drains it. Corey Webster just a 2.
I was going to say, after that Brooke spiel, too late to get in his jock now. He's found the eye. He is going to find the ball, and it's going to continue to find the net. You got to send the double.
Liafa. Fine pass over to Vodanovic, who hesitated, instead deputises to Will McDowell-White. Screen from Lowe. Lowe sealed on Cotton down low. And finishes Rob Lowe, smart basketball.
Great fundamentals, excellent recognition by McDowell-White and Lowe. Just too big for Cotton down low, gets the finish.
The ball is very much in the hand of Corey Webster early in the possession for the Wildcats now. Bankstaff looking to turn the corner. Vodanovic does well to stay with him. And Liafa read that backdoor pass.
He just got stuck with no options, had to try something.
Lowe waltzes into a 3, can't get it to go. And Webster comes down with a rebound.
And Perth controlling the defensive glass, but Vodanovic with the hustle.
Brown looking to split the defense. Vodanovic 3, leaves it short.
Just no presence on the glass for the Breakers with Pardon and Brantley on the bench right now. Wildcats have done an excellent job of shoring that up in a short amount of time, leading that on the glass 27-25.
Cotton over the outstretched hand of Barry Brown Jr.
Both teams look gassed right now. They've put a lot into this quarter.
30 seconds to go in the penultimate term. Liafa trying to find a bit of space. 8 on the shot clock as Brown got the floater from the baseline. Low, keeps it alive.
Gotta get the shot up.
Breakers ball.
Well, quite often on these Barry Brown drives out of the corner, you've got Corey Webster as a low help man, and that's been a difficult task for him to complete as we see the offensive rebound underneath. Low keeping it alive. Brown Jr., Thomas fighting for it, eventually goes out. Just 3 seconds on the clock for the Breakers to get it up.
Liafa to inbound. Low, trying to fashion a bit of space, gets it up. It doesn't get it to drop. So another good defensive set for the Perth Wildcats.
Rob Lowe does well to use the entirety of that shot clock left over as Bryce Cotton and Brady Manick check back into the ball game. A lot of shooting out on the court right now for the Wildcats. It'll be Bryce Cotton's ball in hand. If I'm Barry Brown Jr., I'm going up on denied. I don't want him to catch it, but he's got it now.
6 on the clock. Cotton double teamed inside to Norton. Turnaround jumper, Mitch Norton gets it to go on the buzzer. 2 points for Mitch Norton to finish the 3rd quarter.
That kind of day for the Wildcats. That is exactly what this rivalry does.
3-quarter time at Spark Arena. Breakers 66, Wildcats 73. Do not miss the 4th quarter here on Sky Sport. Welcome back to Spark Arena, the fourth quarter, just a moment away here. And it's Bryce Cotton and Corey Webster who are leading the Perth Wildcats through this one. Webster exploded in that third quarter. He has 22, Cotton has 15. And the Wildcats lead. Bogdanovic looking to fire it over to Liafa, gets it back. Dow White for three. That will be Wildcats ball.
Lakers just not quite in rhythm as we've seen them as of late. And the Wildcats doing just enough on the glass to stem the tide and get those stops. Liafa with another good hand on the backdoor cut.
Thomas leaves the floater short. Jarrell Brantley on the bench with 4 fouls, of course, for the Breakers. Brown Jr. pulls up from inside the paint. 16 for Barry Brown Jr.
Strong move there. Mitch Norton thought he felt the hook as well, but Brown Jr. gets to a spot, elevates, finishes, cuts it to 5.
Norton sizes up Liafa, waits for the screen from Thomas. Looks to drop it in. Pardon read that. A big hand up there for the steal.
Wonder if they get a bucket here or a foul. Oh, it's turnover called.
And Bryce Cotton with the swat. The judge to come off the hand, the knee of Barry Brown Jr.
The ball did come off his knee. The question is, was that a clean swipe down or was there from forearm involved?
Timeout called from Modi Mao. So have a look at the replay.
And this is the turnover. Good steal by Pardon, showing that extension. But
the timeout here early in the fourth quarter. Wildcats 73, Breakers 68.
Timeout is canceled. So we will stay with the game now. Ball off the knee of Barry Brown Jr. Sticks with the Wildcats, a 5-point lead. And the ball in the hands of the hot Corey Webster, 22 points on the night.
This Manek. Great show and go from Thomas. Got it in by Tom Bogdanovic.
What a challenge, legally done so. Oh, an unfortunate break there for the Wildcats. They had a nice matchup with 10 seconds on the clock. They're discussing now, did the ball hit?
Quick apology to our international viewers. That timeout that was taken was then cancelled.
Unfortunately, you had already been sent to break.
You didn't miss any buckets.
Just a beautiful block.
Arm in there, but yeah.
At the rim. And that's what they're discussing now. Did where the ball hit the shot clock when Tom Bogdanovic meant Thomas at the rim. Taking a look at it, beautiful fake there. The block, and the ball does look like it hits the rim there. So the shot clock will stay at 11.
Wide 14. He blocked it.
Modi Mao and Marty Davison. Continual conversation. We're back underway. Wildcats ball from the baseline. 14 on the shot clock. Cotton, catch and shoot. I'll tell you what, he used about 0.6 of those 14 seconds.
Too easy. Just too easy coming off the on-ball. No contest on a Bryce Cotton shot. That is dropping every single time. 17 for him.
Pardon comes up to set the screen for Brown Jr. Shrugs off Cotton and finishes Barry Brown Jr.
Didn't know you could try and tackle players and not get whistled for a foul. He's a little off balance, tripped over, but the contact not called. They're putting the whistles away.
Here's Webster. Pardon. Right out on him. So to Manek they go. Bogdanovic spikes early. Well, that alley-oop pass is seen late by Travers, but he sticks with it, as Luke Travers.
That second jump of Luke Travers is so quick. Doesn't get the initial good challenge, but the stick-to-itiveness on the second one finishes it.
Quick rip and go from Brown Jr. The floater just doesn't drop. Who's going to come away with that one? Bogdanovic fighting hard. Travers read it well. Out of bounds. Wildcats ball.
Breakers seem to be giving up on a lot of these offensive glass. They're sneaking out late when they had a little bit more determination for the ball. These look like gettable possessions. Instead, Wildcats ball again, a 7-point lead. Neither team executing with a lot of smoothness here in the fourth.
Tom Abercrombie back into the game. Jarrell Brantley getting ready to check in.
4 personal fouls, of course.
Here's Webster. Slowed down somewhat since Barry Brown Jr. was given the assignment as Cotton drives. Blocked from Bogdanovic. Another one from Tommy B.
Great timing on the weak side. Multiple times he's beating people at the rim.
Bryce Cotton.
He's a little hobbled.
A little funny there. He's come up a little bit gingerly. And Jr. Tough finish, doesn't drop.
It was a tough angle to get that kiss off the glass, and time ticking away for the Wildcats.
Stop and pop from Webster. The three doesn't go.
Great box out by Liafa down low. Can they get something in transition? Because the half-court defense has been stout.
Barry Brown Jr. to the hoop.
Oh, Barry Brown Jr. here in the fourth, 20 points now. And they are just giving him the ball and watching him blow by defenders. It's all up to the help defense to get the stop or not.
Webster having to go the long way around. Pardon dies on it like a live grenade. Back to Brady Manick for three. Brady Manick.
Timely hit as he goes into double figures with that make.
And a literal groan around Spark Arena as that one went in.
Oh, it is one of those nights for the Wildcats, taking punches but retaliating.
Brown will go the line to shoot two. Derek Pardon screams at his team to come in for a huddle.
First foul in the quarter on either team as Corey Webster spinning around somehow finds Manick, who finds nothing but the bottom of the net.
So Brantley in there on thin ice, 4 fouls to his name. Bogdanovic who takes the seat.
When you put that player in with 4 fouls, you put him in there for the long haul. You've decided that this is the time we need to get him in to get this game going our way. But it's up to him to find that ability to play with that aggression that is so key to his game and still stay out of picking up that 5th foul. It's Barry Brown Jr. still politicking for the contact he received.
John really there. Let's not forget himself, the former breaker.
Played with both Corey Webster and Thomas Abercrombie. He finished his career.
Youngsters, eh?
Very young. What are you trying to say about John? He was a hooper. No doubt about it.
Dal White wants to check back into the game. There's Manick again, trying to get hot from three. Well, it's back-to-back buckets from Brady Manick from beyond the arc.
They are really milking the hot hand well, just going wherever that ball is, finding a little bit of energy, and going there till the next man can step up, holding this big lead here in the fourth.
Brown Jr. Manick read that well, but Brantley still comes down with it. Goes to work, blocked by Travers.
Bit of a flop there by Norton, as he was trying to milk out the 5th personal on Brantley.
Webster takes the contact. That pass somehow makes it through to Travers. Manick again from the wing. Brady Manick rattles it in with Tom Abercrombie's hand in his face. Timeout breakers.
I mean, every foul is just bouncing the way of the Wildcats. That play looked broken multiple times. Abercrombie could have stolen that decent defense, but Manick has found the range. And it's a 3-headed offensive monster in the fourth for the Wildcats. Webster 22, Cotton 17, and now Manick up to 16 after back-to-back triples.
And Breakers fans, if you need some light relief midway through this tense fourth quarter. We've got it for you. Let's hear from Britt Rushko, who's with one of New Zealand's best comedians.
All right, I'm joined by Reece Darby and your son Theo. How good is this?
Amazing. Yeah, the energy is electric.
So how long are you guys back for? So you play basketball over in America. How are you enjoying this and how long are you back for?
We're back until the end of December, and it's great.
What are we back for? Just some family time, or you got something going on?
I'm shooting a TV show here. Normally we live in LA, but we've got a place here as well, so it's great to be home.
It's great to have you guys here. What do you say to the Breakers in the final quarter?
Stop airballing shots, okay? And we need more rebounding. Great passes, but please make the shots. You're doing great.
That's great advice. Hey, thank you guys.
Awesome. Go Breakers.
That was really good.
That was great advice. Theo, future Breakers coach.
He's got it. It's a simple game. It's a simple game at its best. The hard part's the execution.
5 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the latest chapter of the Breakers against the Wildcats. And it's the Wildcats 86, the Breakers 74. Barry Brown Jr. ball in hand. Abercrombie dashes across the baseline. Pardon looking for the putback, gets another chance. Derek Pardon, Breakers ball.
Well, these hands are slapping down with some fury now. A little bit of emotion in this game. Breakers getting a lot of drives, but the Wildcats continue to make those finishes very difficult.
Brown Jr. around a big Pardon screen. Space opens up, the no-look pass out of bounds off Travers.
And then Mitch Morton getting his hand in there either way. Does well to take it out of what would have been a pretty short two by Pardon. The 12-point lead looking more and more insurmountable.
Brown Jr. from mid-range, 2 points.
And he says, I will mount that lead in a minute. Just give me a chance. But it's all down to the stops for the Breakers. Can they find a way to slow Perth down in the fourth?
Yeah, foul there off the ball. Brown Jr. just holding Corey Webster as he tried to get open.
Picks up his third
foul. BBJ. Webster again fighting Abercrombie. Hot on his tail. Inside they go to Thomas. The Wildcats looking to put this game to bed. Brady Maddox hit 3 in a row. Can't make it 4.
And a huge offensive rebound. Mitch Norton in the right place. A dangerous gamble there by Brantley. Didn't give up the bucket, but gives up the offensive rebound.
3 on the shot clock. Thomas, does he know? Does he get it off in time? Didn't go anyway, so Madal White will bring it up the other way for the Breakers.
Offense at a premium. The Breakers need to start scoring with a bit more quickness. But this semi-zone defense making it difficult.
Brantley's 3 doesn't go. Thomas comes down with the board, number 6.
This defense of the Wildcats taking all the energy out of the Breakers in the half court. Struggling to get any clean looks.
Changed his mind in mid-air. A couple of sketchy passes for the Wildcats. It might still end in points.
They're living in that key.
Webster for 2. Doesn't go. Pardon comes down with it.
Doing fine defensively, but the answers are down here.
And again, the Wildcats halt any momentum in the Breakers bringing the ball up the floor. But Brantley has to generate himself. Corey Webster picks his pocket. Three minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Breakers looking to make it 6 wins in a row. They trail by 10 to their greatest adversary. Mitch Norton looks to make it 12. He can't. Jarrett Pardon came down with the ball and his teammate's head.
Gave up both eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a charge.
Charge is the call.
Mitch Norton does it as well as anybody as Barry Brown Jr. picks up foul number 4. With 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, this lead is starting to look a bit big for the Breakers. What a performance. They're emotional as they should be. This was Cavs a must-win coming in, and they are playing like it.
Yeah, 5-7, the Wildcats. Lost 2 in a row, including a overtime one on a Thursday night against Brisbane, Casey, 106-95, and it was tough viewing for Wildcats fans in overtime. After this one, they head to Adelaide on Friday, take on the 36ers before welcoming Melbourne United to Perth Arena on December the 12th. The Breakers, doesn't get much easier for the Breakers, Case. Sydney Kings are in town on Thursday, and then they go to Perth the Friday afterwards.
And when you had a top of the table clash coming up, you could be responding for getting it. But when it's the Wildcats the opponent, you don't look past them. But regardless, the Breakers find it hard.
Well, let's hear from Brett Rusco, who was listening into the timeout.
Yeah, with the Wildcats right here, a lot of the time at the end of the game when you get this type of lead, you can get conservative and you can try and run the clock out. That's not what they're going to do right here. They're going to go with what's been working. Corey's been going. Bryce Cotton, we know what he can do in the fourth quarter, and Manic has really stepped up as well. So don't expect them to hold the ball and look for shots. They're going to go for what's working so far, and they're going to try and win it out like that.
Well, they're going to milk this clock, possession after possession, and just get it in the hand of one of those guards because they've been making the right decision play after play.
2 minutes 30 to go. Manic. His back-to-back-to-back triples. Gave the Wildcats this buffer. Here he is, under the hoop, throwing it down with 2 hands. What a find from Corey Webster.
Corey Webster is playing his game of the season right now, drawing multiple defenders, delivers a perfect pass to the Manic finish. Finally, the Breakers find one from deep. Thomas Abercrombie finding the range on that one, cutting it down to 9.
Here's Webster. Brown Jr. on him.
Here, milking Manic in the fourth.
Manic going to work on Abercrombie. Tough shot. Rebounded by Pardon.
Well, they've got to play with a bit more quickness.
13 rebounds to Pardon to go as 11 points. Brown Jr. 3 drops. And a glimmer of hope for the Spark Arena crowd. Timeout, Perth Wildcats. 88-82.
No quit in the Breakers this season. One of the quicker possessions of the second half in transition. Finding Brown Jr. decent contest, better shot. As he has hit 27 points on the day, 10 for 21. And his first triple of the night. But now, a minute 35 left, 24 seconds. I would think the Wildcats will want to take it in the backcourt to use up the entirety of the 24. If they take it in the front court, that cuts it down to 14. But this ball is going to be in the hands of Webster or Cotton for the remainder of this one.
Webster with 22, Cotton with 17, Brady Manic with 18. Barry Brown Jr. leading all scorers with 27. He had 31 on Thursday night against Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix and Christchurch. And just Pardon and Abercrombie, the other 2 Breakers in double digits with 11 and 10 respectively.
Reasonably high-scoring game, but it's been a wrestling match. Both teams are putting a lot into this one. The Wildcats, in some ways, their season is on the line. A lot of pride at that club, and they're playing with it today.
Bryce Cotton has possession. Mitch Norton is willing to be patient with it. Lead by 6. Thomas looks to turn the corner, finds Corey Webster. Needs some help, Corey Webster. Gets it to Thomas. That's a tough shot. To Sean Thomas, good defense from the Breakers.
Not a bad possession, though. Used up the entirety of the shot clock, but it all comes down to stops for the Wildcats.
Dow White looking inside for Pardon. A slow motion find from Will McDowell White, finished off by Derek Pardon.
And an all-important possession for the Wildcats. Both teams tons of fouls to give. It won't be earned at the line unless it's shooting.
Webster almost lost his footing. They want to be the one to ice it. Well, Corey Webster, baseline jumper over Derek Pardon.
Corey Webster, 24 points. His high in this building is 38. 24 must feel pretty good today, though.
A foul off the ball. I think it's on Corey Webster for wrestling with Derek Pardon.
Nothing wrong with that foul. Just the second personal foul or team foul of the quarter. Not sending anybody to the free throw line, and with a 6-point lead. Look at this shot, though. Look at the step back. Perfect footwork. Great contest. Better shot. Corey Webster turning back the clock. In a building that echoes his form for... With another look at the Pardon roll. Nice screen and roll. Good find underneath. Oh, that's the foul there. Pardon me. Bit of a trip.
The team's talk it over. 6-point game, 29 seconds to go. And now's a terrible time to bring up what Modi Mawar said to us in the tunnel before the game. When he saw me, he goes, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, Andrew's away today." Andrew Mulligan, of course, a regular commentator. And he goes, "Do you people not respect the streak?" I'm out of this building fast. If the Wildcats hold on.
Well, the
Great character, Modi Mawar.
Great character, but the streak's not over yet. 6 points, the deficit. 2 fouls to give for Perth. Wouldn't be surprised to see them use them here on some quick drives.
Corey Webster rallying the troops. As the Breakers make their way onto the court. Brown Jr., McDowell White, Abercrombie, Brantley, Pardon. They look for Pardon. Bryce Cotton almost came away with the steal. Oh, they run into each other, and the Wildcats go the other way.
And that's gonna do it. The foul on Webster. The Breakers still have to foul twice more to get to the bonus. And Corey Webster looking at a sweet victory upon his return to Spark Arena.
Jarrell Brantley copped a forehead to the mouth. So Vodanovic relieves him of his duties. 16 seconds to go. And trust the Perth Wildcats to kill the Breakers' buzz.
The team knew it. The players knew it. Anyone involved in the fan bases of these two squads understands that the records do not matter when these teams meet. There is too much pride at stake.
And the Wildcats play keep away.
Corey Webster takes that foul, the 5th one here. Bryce Cotton did it in the first half, most of that 3rd quarter, and Corey Webster, Brady Manick taking over late. Great performance for Manick as well. He's been under some pressure with his performances, but that stroke turned out sweet at the right time for them today.
Corey Webster looks to ice it from the free throw line. He gave so much to the New Zealand Breakers in his time here in Aotearoa. He won 3 championships. And now a Perth Wildcat. McDowell White puts up a speculative effort to finish this game. And it's the Perth Wildcats who halt the Breakers' winning streak at 5 and reverse their 2-loss streak.
Huge win for the Wildcats.
And all the celebrations from the Wildcats goes the way of Corey Webster.
Corey Webster, our Foot Locker player of the game today for that performance he put together. But this Wildcats team, they've been under some pressure. Haven't been playing their best basketball, and they've understood it. But they dug down deep for a gritty effort today. It wasn't always pretty, but always effective. 48% from the field, 8 threes. But what really got them over the line, 20 for 21 from the free throw line.
Bryce Cotton was Bryce Cotton. And he had a more than able deputy tonight. In case you mentioned it during the game that That's the second scorer the Wildcats looked for when they picked up Corey Webster, and maybe today, this game and everything around it was what he needed to spark him into life in NBL23.
Sometimes it takes a while for the loaf to rise. It's been in the oven baking for about a quarter of the season, and now it's starting to look like the meal they had planned.
So the Breakers welcome the Sydney Kings on Thursday, December the 8th, before heading over to Perth to meet the Wildcats again, where they'll see Corey Webster again, this time in Western Australia. Let's hear from the man himself, the Footlocker player of the game, Corey Webster with Brooke Ruskell.
That's right, Corey Webster, 26, 5 and 4. You said you had to do a welcome home. That must have felt good.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it felt real good. It was great to come home city, play in front of my old home fans that I always got love for in my heart. I'm proud of my boys. It was a great win.
That was the best game that you played in this red and white and the Wildcats. What worked tonight?
I think I'm just trying to get my rhythm back. You know, that's what I can do. I've done that for years. Still trying to find my feet a little bit. I just stayed aggressive tonight, and the shots were falling.
How do you guys build on this? It's been a slow season in terms of the Wildcats, but how do you guys build on this? This has been a big win.
Yeah, we've been disappointed in how we've been playing as a group. You know, it was our defense this game, I think. We locked in a bit more. We stuck to our scout and got stops and rebounded, and we need to build from there.
What did your coach say at the very first timeout? I don't know if you can remember, but he called a timeout in the first possession. What did he come and say as your boy comes in here as well?
Yeah, he called a timeout because they got an offensive rebound right away. You know, we didn't want him to get any offensive rebounds. That's been a weak spot of ours, so he was pissed off with that. He called that timeout real quick to just give us a kick up the butt, but it worked from there.
Well, your Footlocker player of the game, Corey Webster, welcome home to Grant.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Your Footlocker player of the game, Corey Webster, a returning hero for the Perth Wildcats fans, and they got a win over the Breakers 92-84. We'll be back after the break with more full-time analysis here on Sky Sport. Welcome back to Spark Arena, where the Perth Wildcats have beaten the New Zealand Breakers 92-84 to put a sharp halt to their 5-game winning streak, thanks to that man wearing number 10 these days, Corey Webster. Let's hear from a disappointed Sky Sport Breakers captain, Tom Abercrombie, who's with Brooke Ruskell.
Captain Tom Abercrombie, we expect nothing less when you guys play the Perth Wildcats, but just couldn't find a rhythm tonight.
No, we couldn't. We're our own worst enemy out there, and you know, we couldn't find a rhythm. And firstly, like we let them get into a good rhythm, and you know, once they've got some talented scorers out there, they see a couple go through the net, and they started making some tough ones. It's a long night.
You built this whole season, 11 wins so far off the back of some defense and 92 points. Coach Modi and the rest of the Breakers probably wouldn't be happy with that tonight.
No, exactly. Not happy. That's not us. As I said, we just didn't find a rhythm out there, and we weren't disruptive or physical enough, and allowed them to be comfortable. And as I said, they're too talented a team to not be able to put some points on the board if you defend like that.
Well, the beauty of this league is you guys get to run it back on Thursday night against Sydney Kings, top of the table clash. How do you guys prepare for that?
Yeah, great challenge for us to bounce back from a loss. You know, see what we're made of, come in these next couple of days of practice and get after it, and another huge challenge for us that we're looking forward to.
I mean, appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Have a look at the match stats from this one. Casey, Frank, talk us through the tail of the tape.
Well, it looks pretty close, but just slightly more efficiency on the side of the Perth Wildcats. They turned it over 4 less times. They shot a little bit better from 3 on less attempts, but the rebounds, that's huge for them. 37-37 after getting dominated by the Bullets, an undersized Bullets team. And the most important stat, I think, of the game, not on there, the first fourth quarter this season that the Breakers have been outscored.
And what has it done to the Hungry Jacks NBL ladder? Well, the Breakers still sit at the top 11-4, but they played a fair few more games than their closest opponent, that of the Sydney Kings, who they will meet on Thursday. Taipan 36's Phoenix, and the Wildcats heading in the right direction, closer to 500, 1 game closer.
Well, it's going to be a dogfight the rest of the season coming in. The ladder is getting tighter, and you can see not much in between the games from the top to the bottom of the ladder.
Well, coming up next on ESPN, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix taking on Melbourne United. A throwdown, and the Breakers will meet the Sydney Kings on Thursday, the 8th of December, 7:30 here on Sky Sport. From Casey, Frank, myself, and the Sky Sport crew, we'll see you next time.
That I'm a loaded revolver. You play a rough shit, you let out deliver the drama.